What we do here is go back. What we do here is go back.
You never know, that might even be working. Looks like it is. Good evening everyone, Mike here, Mikesunboxing reviews and how to. It's Saturday the... oh, I ain't gonna watch on. The 19th of March 2022. Super chat just come in from Bob. Thank you very much, Bob. And he says what I was about to say actually. Happy birthday to a good friend of the channel and fellow Bristolian, Dave Aitken. He is 30 today, 30 years young. You young whippersnapper you. So hopefully, wherever you are, you're having a good birthday. He looked like he started on the elderflower cider quite early today, so he's probably either passed out. Obviously, when you get to a certain age, when you're drinking, you pass out very quickly and you wake up the next day feeling horrible. Normally, when you go from 29 to 30 years old, that's when it all sets in. So enjoy your hangover, Dave. And thanks for the super chat, Bob. So where are we? Brain is completely gone. Let's have a slurp of my tea. Good tea.
That's okay.
Yes, thank you, Kath. So tonight we will be discussing, amongst many other things, my current Micro ATX Dilema. Dilema, that is a Bristolian way of saying dilemma. I've got a real issue at the moment. I want to do a build, I've got the case, I've got the cooler, and that is kind of the theme that I'm around. And I've got to put all the rest of the parts with it. But I don't know if anyone else has noticed this recently, but motherboards seem to be getting like ridiculously expensive for what they are, especially AMD boards, which traditionally are very, very cheap. Now there's still going to be things out there such as the refurbished boards, which you can pick up quite cheaply. I was really looking for something along the lines of a B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi. We used to be able to pick those up for somewhere about £60 when they were on offer, but those are really expensive right now. So I'm kind of at the point where I don't know what to do. I really don't. I want a board which has got addressable RGB, because the case has got some addressable RGB functions and features, so I want to take advantage of that. I don't want to spend too much money, because I don't think I'm going to be able to flip the system for even what I paid for it. So I'm really concerned about actually spending money out and not having anything in return. And because it's a Micro ATX case, it's unlikely that I'm actually going to use it in any real kind of way here in the studio. Kath's wave in, hello.
Double voice. Has anyone else got it? Or just Nick Barnes?
Double voice. Let me just check. I don't think so. No, it shouldn't be, unless I've got this open somewhere else. No, it appears to be single voice.
Okay.
No.
You plan it on Discord and YouTube.
You got it on Discord and there. Excellent stuff. Right, yeah, I should have checked that first of all before I started rittering on. Is the audio okay? Is the visuals okay? Obviously, there's nothing I can do about this. This is what I've been given. But other than that, does everything look okay? And is it actually in focus? I've not looked at the focus at all, actually. Nice thing about the camera we've got now, the Lumix S5, it does appear to do autofocus quite well, which for a Panasonic camera is actually quite a rarity. But hopefully it's all good. Ugly Bob said he's not hearing a double voice. You've clearly not drank enough yet.
Is he seeing double you?
Are you seeing double, or are you just hearing double? So yeah, I'm in a real dilemma. I don't know what to do. Processors at the moment are somewhat limited. So I'm just looking for some input from you lot to see what you'd like me to see actually put into this case. Now, you've probably seen from the thumbnail the case already, which was the Gamemax Commando, a case which I thought was going to be absolutely awful. I looked at the case and I thought, well, it's a solid front panel, it isn't going to be able to breathe, it's going to be absolutely horrendous. But as it turns out, I've already done the unboxing and done like a mini review on it, which is the usual thing where I tear the case down and go through all the components, which I think some of you already seen already on Patreon. I think that's already been released. Am I right in saying that?
I think it's been released on.
I think it has been released to Patreon's members. I think will be Monday or Tuesday. The Gamemax Commando. Kath's just checking now. What are you doing, Maisie? Talk amongst yourselves.
Sorry.
Welly Bob says, all is well with the stream. Thank you very much.
It'll be released this week, probably Thursday, I think.
So Thursday, okay.
Ish.
Excellent. Okay, just reading there. So yeah, I was looking at MSI's A520 Vector, but that is still actually quite expensive. And it's still seeming to me as if Micro ATX boards, which were traditionally quite a jump cheaper than the ATX counterparts, actually seem to be either very limited in stock or the same price or even more than ATX boards. Now that used to always be the case with ITX because of they don't sell as many, everything's condensed, it's just a more expensive package to buy. But Micro ATX used to always be where the value segment is. And at the moment it doesn't seem to be, especially when you can pick up things like the MSI Tomahawk Max 2 for £60 easily, pretty much anywhere. You can also pick up things like the Asus, the B450 gaming Wi-Fi Strix thing, which I've had before. You can pick those up for sort of £65, £70 really easily. But Micro ATX, there's just not a great deal out there, and it's quite depressing, it really is. I'm looking around, I'm thinking, what can I actually buy which makes sense, which isn't going to blow my budget, isn't going to be ending up in a PC which I'm going to basically almost give away. It's a really tough decision at the moment. I don't know if anyone else is trying to do the same thing, trying to build a cheaper little PC. It's actually really, really hard at the moment, unless you really go absolute dog pile for something like the A320 chipset. You can pick those boards up for about 30 quid. Now we'll have a look on the CCL later on in their clearance section to see what is available. Processors are still kind of a bit sketchy, especially AMD wise. You can still pick up some, but then it is still tricky. So I just don't know what to do. I'm genuinely at a point where I don't know what to do. And the fact that we're putting a 240mm AIO in there means that potentially we could put something a little bit hotter in there, which I personally would like to do. But again, it's going to be more expensive to do that way. So I'm thinking maybe a 10400 possibly, because that would benefit from the additional cooling to keep it nice and cool and quiet. But I don't know. Let's have a look. William Bodie has come up with something which we actually come up with in the review. Is it me, or does the front of that box look very much like a monkey? I'll clear that so you can actually see it. Does that or does that not look like a laughing monkey? It does, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's a really, really, I don't know, it's just unfortunate, I think, the way they've placed it. It does look like it. If you look on the other side, with the white version, that kind of looks like it as well. Oh, the focus has gone a little bit crazy there. But yeah, it does look a little bit like a face. We could draw some glasses on there and it definitely would be. So yes, thanks for pointing that out. Kath pointed that out. She looked at it and then she was cracking up all through the video and I was trying desperately not to laugh. O'Reilly says I don't see it. Monkey! It does, it looks like a monkey. It really does. O'Reilly says I love the art on the box of the ALSEYE M240. It does look nice actually. The box is really good and they've done it really well. It's just sadly it does look like a face. It really does. I suppose it's not really a great deal you can do with it, but anyway. Ugly Bob,
you really don't see it.
yeah, Mick Woods is a monkey definitely. Ugly Bob, shocked monkey.
Did they see it as a monkey before you said?
Yeah, did I think someone, yeah.
William.
Did you see it as a monkey previously, or did it look like a face, or did you look at it and did you kind of double take a little bit, but not say anything out of politeness? O'Reilly says, I don't see a monkey, you must be drinking. I'm glad it was a monkey, because I was going to make some reference to a letter and the airing of a monkey, but I won't go there. Anyway, so this is my dilemma. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. We'll fire up CCL. We'll try, might even do some PC part picker, do some scouring, see what we can come up with. I've actually been testing this cooler today. It's really bloody good. Around about around about £60 in the UK on Amazon.co.uk. ALSEYE have actually gave us a discount code as well. So when the review video goes out, there is going to be a discount code that goes along with that to make quite a substantial saving as well. So if you are considering a water cooler, either in white or black, and also they do 3 different sizes. There is a 120mm, a 240mm, and a 360mm. So any of those all will have the same discount code applied, so you can knock yourselves out. So if you're looking for a cooler, hold off for a little while. The video should probably be released in about a week's time, I guess, from most of you. So yeah, it's going to be good. Mick Wood says you can't unsee it after you mentioned it. I know. It's definitely there. I'm sorry to ALSEYE for highlighting it, but what else can you do? William says give the monkey, but I do. If I had some bananas, I would have put a banana by the side of it. I really would. Domus says CCL have the Gigabyte B450M DS3H for sub £40. That is something I am considering. Although, if I go down the route of the B450 D3SH, I think I'm going to be losing out on addressable RGB, and also it's a slightly older chipset. So that is going to be kind of limiting processor-wise. Although I could go down the second-hand route and put in maybe a 2600, which I guess to some extent would benefit from some water cooling. That might be the way forward, actually. Kath's PC has got the 2600 in it currently, so I could do that. I have actually bought another Ryzen 5 3600 second-hand, as I said last week. I was considering putting that in there, but that really would benefit more from B550 chipset, which makes it all more expensive. It's just awkward. I don't know what to do. Kieran says, the cooler looks nice, not as good as the BR 23/36. I think. Is that 24/36? I still haven't spoken to Inwin. I must put that on the list. This week has been a week where the roof has been being done, as some of you are aware from last week. Still kind of getting over my illness from the previous week. So that seems to be, I'm pretty much 99.7% cured now, I think, hopefully. There's always going to be a little bit of residue. I've got the old cough a little bit now and then. Although I think a lot of the cough is we actually, because the roof is being done, we took advantage of it and we've put some skylights in the roof, and also we got a loft ladder installed. So hopefully now some of this stuff which is cluttering up the studio area, we can now put up in the loft to keep it out of harm's way. And it will be nice to get some more stuff in and have more stock and not have to worry about constantly trying to rotate it. So we're going to be expanding some of the storage into the loft space. But in order to do that, I had to assist the builder because the rest of them were off sick or doing other stuff. So I had to get my hands dirty and my face and my head. And our ceiling, because this house is an old 1930s house, and the ceilings are still the original ones from when it was built. And they're made from what they call slat and lav. So there's wooden slats that go across, and then there's this like cement which goes in between, which is like pushed in like cement. It's basically cement, but not quite as hard. And we had to cut through all that. And because it's up in the top, we're cutting it through with this saw. The dust is going in. I didn't wear a face mask or anything, which I should have done, I suppose, really. And by the end of it, my face was completely covered. And every time I sneezed or coughed, I was coughing up loads of black stuff. So yeah, it wasn't great. And I'm probably still trying to regurgitate some of that out of my system. So I still have got a little bit of a cough. So if I do have a coughing fit, I do apologise. I will warn you in advance. What else is that? Alexa says a smart monkey doesn't monkey with another monkey's monkey. That sounds almost biblical. What else did we get to? Nick Barnes says, what about the release of the Ryzen 4 4100 released next month? That is something I am definitely considering. That does look very promising. If it comes out for a decent price, that would be excellent. But I'm still then kind of, I wouldn't put a Ryzen, is it a Ryzen 4 4100 or Ryzen 3 4100? I'm not sure. Maybe it is a Ryzen 4. I didn't pay much attention to that. If it is a 4100, I would like for it to go on a B550 chipset board, which is going to be, again, then it's going to be what is available. There does seem to be limited stocks at the moment. Milch Monster, Ryzen 7 RX 5700 XT, 16 GB RAM on a 450B. Is an upgrade to 550B with PCI Express Gen 4 worth it, gaming wise? You probably won't notice a huge amount of difference with the 5700 XT. It's going to be very much minutia. If you were doing benchmarks, you'd probably see some games would take advantage of it. There's going to be quite a lot that won't. So it's probably not really worth the upgrade. If you haven't bought a board and you're looking to buy a 450 or a 550, the 550 is the way to go. But if you've already got the board, there's not really any point, I don't think. There's something actually I would like to test a little bit further. I've actually got the 5700 XT, and to test on a B450 would be interesting to see if there is much difference. Realistically, I think if there is any difference, it's going to be single figure percentages. Jeremy JK says, I don't think the i5 10400 makes a lot of sense since you have to pair it with a decent B560 board, and the B560 chipset was a VRM disaster. You would end up with a board that costs hundreds anyways. Yeah, that is, again, that is part of my dilemma. It's not straightforward at the moment. There's so many different options in terms of the various combinations which are available. Intel have made it really difficult, especially with 10th gen processors working on 11th gen boards, 10th and 11th gen boards not working with 10th gen processors, only 10th gen boards. So yeah, it's not ideal. Stuart says MSI A320M-A Pro motherboard at Micro ATX on Amazon for $34.99. I've actually got one of those down here, I think, somewhere. See, have a look. Well, reaching down, I'm sure I have got one. Yeah, there we go. not the Max version, but the Dash A Pro. I could use it, but then this is a limited board. Very few features on it. It's not going to have addressable RGB, and also the VRMs are going to get toasty very quick, so I am going to be limited on that. But it is something I am considering. The thing is, when you put a board like that into a system, people will automatically think it's a crap system, so they don't want to pay money for it. There are actually some people that do realise the difference. Excuse me. Cheese Bella, does the ALSEYE have an LCD screen? No, it has an infinity screen. So when you're actually looking at it, it's a mirror. So it just basically reflects backwards. It does look very sweet, actually. I like it a lot. Jeremy says, in that case, you're better off with i3 12100, since that blows both the 10400 and the 11400 out of the park. But I'm then still looking at quite a lot of money for a 12th gen Micro ATX motherboard, which is going to be half decent. That is something I might consider. There's so many things going around in my head thinking what way to go. A 12th gen would be nice. And I haven't built a 12th gen yet, so it would be interesting to see what they perform like. But then if I spent that much money on it, would I want to then sell it straight on? I'd probably want to maybe swap out the PC behind me or something, which I'm kind of loath to do because it's pretty stable and works well. Although a slightly smaller chassis behind me might make some sense. Dirt. Where are we? Jim's Tech says 11400F and B560 cheap now and PCI Express Gen 4. That could work out, and then I could stick in the 6500 XT to try and get rid of it. That would be quite good. Richard says, how much did the 3600 cost you, Mike? It actually cost me, well, it was going to cost me 110, which was a really good price. But it was somebody on Facebook Marketplace. It was the week before last when I was not feeling particularly good. Didn't want to leave the house because I felt a little unsteady on my feet. So, long story short, I paid him 20 quid to deliver it to me, which is way over the top. But he seemed like a nice kid, so I paid the extra, and he took his dog for a walk and brought it round, bless him. So it cost me 130, which I don't think is actually that bad for a 3600. It's a nice chip, and in fact it's currently in that PC behind me powering this stream. It's actually a much better chip than my previous 3600, which was in there, which for some reason that one's benchmarks about 500 points more in Cinebench, with no other changes whatsoever. Just literally swapping the chip over, I get about 500 extra points, which is not insignificant. Matthew Day says also an A520 for a touch more and a B450 for a few pence short of £70. The B550 is looking like the way to go, I think. It's a shame the other processors aren't out already. That would be absolutely marvellous, but it's not. Who else we got? Sorry, I've scrolled too far down. I've lost my train of thought. Pierre Play says, kind of here, not wanted, kind of here, kind of not, comma. Wanted to drop in and say hi as it's been ages, but multitasking. Well, hopefully you're feeling better. Stuart Cleary says, Mike, done some actual work? I did, actual work. Yeah, actual work. Well, you know me, I'm tight, or thrifty, or conservative with my money, I would say. So when the builder came round and he said, like, do you want me to leave another guy here to do it, or what? I said, well, that's all right, I don't mind, I'll do it. I'm quite happy to get involved. And he's like, well, you save yourself some money, so saving some money on the bill worked out well. Hello, Poppy. Poppy? Say hello to the lovely people. It doesn't appear that animal auto-detect focus... Oh no, animal detect autofocus engaged by the look of it.
Poppy.
Oh, Poppy.
I don't think you can see much.
She's now licking her leg and her lady bits. right on camera as well. It's not OnlyFans.
Coolers as well.
Langan House, London. Hi Mike, hi everyone. Finally I got live. Always watched you after the stream has ended. Oh, glad you could make it. O'Reilly says it's a Ryzen 3 4100. I kind of figured it would have been part of the Ryzen 3 family. Richard says, isn't the 4100 almost identical to the 3100? I think it pretty much is, yeah. The only... Actually, I'm trying to think what the advantages are of the 4100. Has it got slightly larger cache or something? Or is it like 100 megahertz faster or something ridiculous? Hugh Luttrell's with us. How you doing, Hugh? Good to see you. Allman Withers says, check the PCI Express Gen on those new Ryzen processors. Some are only Gen 3. Okay, that'd be yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I think some of the new the G series ones are going to be PCI Express Gen 3. But yes, I will take a closer look at that. I think they're due out next month, like somebody said. So it'd be interesting to see what the eventual prices are going to be. Stuart Clary says, you should have worn a mask, it's not like they're hard to get. Very true. Very true. If you go outside, there's thousands of them on the streets. Nick Barnes says, Ryzen 3 4100 is supposed to be $99. So $99 normally would equate in the UK to somewhere in the region of about £75. So realistically, it's probably going to be about £110 due to the world as it is now. Ricardo says, I own a Intel i5 10400, Asus TUF H470 Mobo, 32 gigs Crucial Ballistic RAM, no issues this far. Yeah, that's a pretty decent setup actually. H470 potentially could be, because the demand for those is a little bit lower, so I might look at something along those lines. Again, I'm going to be limited by Micro ATX. I am kind of really regretting Micro ATX at this point, which was bizarre because a month ago all the Micro ATX boards were super cheap, but now there seems to be not many about. Rob Bonfer says, is there any real difference between the Ryzen 3 3100 and the 4100? I'm not actually sure. I'm really not. I haven't paid close attention to that, so I don't know. Irie Wolfman, Mike's magic sack under the table, next pull out a 3080. Wait, that sounds wrong. Yes, it's unlikely to happen as well. Dutch Jan says, almost no difference, RX 5700 XT on a B450 or a B450 or B550. Thank you, Dutch Jan. Jim's Tech says 11400F for only 140. Pretty good. Darren's with us. How you doing, Darren? Do you have your hand up then, Kath?
Yeah. Our Wolfman had a baby boy last week, Theo.
Oh, Irie Wolfman had a baby? Well, he didn't. Well, you never know these days, but more than likely his partner. Congratulations, Irie Wolfman. Sorry, just I'm really far behind on the chat. O'Reilly is saying there, so Ryzen 3 3100s as total L3 cache 16 meg, and the Ryzen 3 4100 is a total L3 cache 4 megabytes rather than 16. And right, so they've increased the clock speed of the 4100 but reduced the total cache. So why? Jeremy says the i3 12100F only 115. Jeff Watson says, I'm wanting to go to ITX from Micro ATX, but yeah, it is costly. Very much so. I've actually just sent back my Aorus Elite B450 ITX motherboard because it's the BIOS is just ruined on it. It just keeps on resetting. Every single time you go into the BIOS, it resets everything. I don't know why, so I sent that back. It was actually an Amazon warehouse, so I'm assuming they got it back, put a processor in, fired it up, yeah, it goes into BIOS fine, chuck it back in the box. But obviously they probably didn't test it. And for some reason it was losing time as well. It was losing like an hour or so a day, which is kind of weird. I did try another BIOS battery, and that didn't seem to make any difference at all. In fact, taking the BIOS battery out altogether and just doing a reboot, which is generally fine because you're still supplying power to the board, it would still reset the BIOS. So yeah, it was a little bit weird. George says, I recently got Asus TUF B450M Plus, £49 on eBay. He's only had 2 of them. Darn it. Waldo135 says, hi, how you doing, Waldo? Is your TPM issue sorted? Oh, let's have a look. Waldo135, so surprised TPM was the issue for kernel power 41 error. Yeah, that was a weird one. Waldo, for those of you that aren't regulars, Waldo135 has been a regular in our Discord for quite a while now. And it had a system from, was it AWDIT or was CCL? It was one of the UK companies. And since the beginning, there's been issues with that system, with it having random crashes, just general instability. It was sent back at his expense for about £40, and they replaced the power supply, and I believe they swapped the graphics card for the appropriate model, just a new graphics card. And after a couple of days of having the system back, the issue returned. So we went through the event logs to see what was coming up, and we went through in some detail, trying to work out what was going on. And it seemed to be to do with the system trying to authenticate itself, security-wise. So we looked in the BIOS to see if TPM was actually enabled, at which point it was. So we disabled TPM and secure boot and all that kind of stuff. And it does appear that since then it's been good. So that is awesome. Darren, when do the new chips and boards drop? What month? I think it's going to be late April, early May. I could be wrong. Jeff says, I got a 3600 XT off for £100 off Facebook. You done well there. John Burnham says, thrifty, laugh my ass off, so am I. Tight. Pierre says, feeling better, just got wiped after looking at 1-year-old for an entire week. Babies are hard. If it's any consolation, teenagers are harder. Considerably. William Bodie, Poppy, sweet cat, go bite Mike.
She's led on his blanket.
She is led on your blanket currently, William. She's not biting it though. Thanks, Ugly Bob, for that. Poppy doesn't give a rat's arse. She really doesn't. She does not care. She is just whatever.
As long as it's not other people.
Wild Bill says, late to the party. Hi, Mike and Kath. Hope you're all well. Yeah, not doing too bad at all. Well, Bill, thank you for the cooler. I did send you a message on Discord, I think. That is awesome, actually, because I was looking at getting one of those a while back. And it was one of those coolers which kind of came and went and came and went. And they went really expensive, then they disappeared. And yeah, it's nice to see that. I'm looking forward to testing that, the Tranquillo. I do like gelid stuff. It's good gear. Don't see a lot of it here in the UK, though. So thank you for sending that. Actually, while Bill is there, let's read this out. So this was a letter which was sent with this cooler, which was sent to us. Dear Mike and Kath, herewith is the promised Tranquillo Rev 4 cooler. I hope that you can put it to good use. Most definitely. All the fixtures are included, as well as extra fan clips if required. I'm afraid it is not RGB. Never mind. Can't have it all. But that doesn't stop anyone replacing the standard non-RGB fan with an RGB version. Thanks again for all the hard work you do. To be honest, I don't know how you do it. I'm just glad to make a very small contribution. Aluta continua. I'm not sure what that means. Kind regards, Wild Bill. Thank you very much. And he says, P.S. yes, I must change my cartridges. Actually, considering the sort of tat that we print out on a daily basis, your printer cartridges look awesome. They look almost like laser compared to ours. So you're done right. Sorry? Cheers, Ricardo. Wild Bill says, I'm watching an 18-minute delay. Well, in 18 minutes, I'll be saying thank you for your cooler. Jeremy JK, that was very kind of you to say. I don't understand how your channel manages to stay under the radar so much. You have become exceptionally good at presenting stroke reviewing. I think it's like most things, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And certainly our channel does appear to appeal to a certain type of, how can I say it without being rude? I consider this to be more the kind of the thinking man's channel, or thinking woman's, or thinking person's channel. So people who don't get kind of bombarded or bamboozled with bullshit, this is the sort of content that you like to see, because I'm not going to try and pull the wool over your eyes. I say things as they are. It's just raw. It really is. It's not scripted or anything, as you could probably guess. So we just say it as it is. And that is how I would like to watch a review. So I review in the way that I would want to see it reviewed. Quite often, actually, there's things that I try to do on my PC and I can't remember how to do it. I search for it on YouTube and it's one of our videos that come up. So I end up watching one of my own videos to fix my stuff, which is quite weird. But they are quite handy videos. At least some of them are. Some of them are crap. I can be honest. Where did I get to? But thank you for that. It's very kind of you to say. Oh, I'm quite far behind.
You are.
I am. Right, let's fast forward a little bit. Yes, congratulations to Irie Wolfman. William Bodie says, enjoy it before people find out. I don't think we will. It's because of the way that YouTube works as a thing. Pretty much all of the UK tech channels don't really get that many views. And there's a few that I can name off the top of my head. You've got, obviously, Kit Guru. You've got Geekanoids. You've got Adamant IT. Stu's Reviews. All of those channels are like quite high ranking and do some really good reviews. But they don't get that kind of massive influx of views comparatively with the American style content. I don't know why it is. I know there's like the YouTube that most of you are watching now is YouTube UK or youtube.co.uk, but it's still youtube.com, but because of where you are geographically, you will get content which is aimed at you from this country. You'll get obviously the other ones chucked in all the time, like your Linus's, your Jay's 2 cents and all that kind of stuff, because they're massive channels. But when you're actually searching, if you're in the US and you're searching for videos, it's unlikely you're going to see a UK content thing appear, because it's going to be kind of aimed towards your location. And obviously the UK is a very small country in comparison with some of the other countries like America, where like we've got 65 million people living here, whereas in America you've got best part of 400 million. So there's a much larger audience in America, so they try and keep American content in America, UK content in the UK, etc, etc. You get the idea. Cody T. Arsis. I could have made a right mess of that. What's a good upgrade from HyperX Cloud Stinger headsets? I have no idea. I've never tried those before, the HyperX Cloud Stinger. They were really popular and they seem to be everywhere. And we were actually offered, HyperX approached us and said they wanted to send us loads of stuff, and that was just BC as I could call it. And yeah, never happened.
If you join Discord, see him at night might know.
Yeah, if you join Discord, ask Seam at Night. If there's anything about audio that he doesn't know, it isn't worth knowing about. He is an audio connoisseur, almost to the point of lunacy. But it's fascinating information that he has, and he does know a lot about his gear, and he's got hundreds of pairs of headphones, or he's had hundreds of pairs of headphones. Where did I get to? Really random reviews. Hi Mikey Caff, how's everyone doing? Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Where we got to? Waldo, Mike, are you surprised that TPM might have caused the kernel power 41? Haven't got the error for a few days, nearly a week. Yeah, I think TPM is going to be a big problem for a lot of people. because especially those that are doing BIOS updates, because it seems that if you do a BIOS update now, the latest BIOS for pretty much every motherboard automatically turns on TPM whether you're using it or not, and also Secure Boot. Now there's an awful lot of software and drivers and programs that we all use on our computers on a daily basis, which don't need TPM. But if TPM is enabled, the operating system is going to try and look for those TPM certificates and those keys to do like the digital handshake sort of thing. So the whole point of TPM is it's basically a trusted platform. So if for some reason your computer tries to load a program in the background, say for instance Discord for argument's sake, which doesn't have TPM certification in it, when Discord runs, the TPM in the system is going to be going, right, okay, let's see your pass. And Discord is going to be like, I don't have one. No, but TPM will be like, well, I'm not intelligent enough to ask you more questions or to see if TPM should be enabled or not, so I'm just going to stop you right there. And that is effectively going to cause a crash. Now, if it's doing that to certain parts of your operating system, such as drivers and low-level stuff, say for instance you've got an older Realtek sound card or onboard sound, and the Realtek driver doesn't have TPM support. When you try and do something with your sound, there's a very strong chance that your TPM could kick in and say, sorry, you can't do that. And because it's such a low level, it's just going to blue screen the system, which is obviously not ideal. So yeah, TPM I think is going to be a problem, and I would suggest if you have a system which is having any kinds of instability issues at all, and you're on Windows 10 or Windows 11, mostly Windows 11, go into your BIOS and turn off TPM. Unless you have a specific requirement for it, turn it off. Although if you've encrypted your drives in any way, turning it off could prevent you accessing the drive. So obviously do be careful, don't just turn it off willy-nilly. But if you don't use TPM, you haven't encrypted your drives, you don't use BitLocker or anything, then it's probably safe to turn it off. Ugly Bob says I lose an hour or two a day regularly. I wish I had an extra hour or two a day, that would be really handy.
You can lose one tonight, can't you?
Yeah. No, it's next week. I looked it up wrong. Irie Wolfman, 10-year anniversary next week, married with 3 kids. All I need now is a GPU, but I can live without. Waldo says it was AWDIT, thank you. Hugh Luttrell says you should do an unboxing and build on an EVGA motherboard, a little pricey. I've never seen the attraction of EVGA motherboards, to be honest. They look nice, but I don't think I'd buy one. Patrick LaBelle says I'm debating about keeping my 3950X or the 5900X. If I want to sell one, which would you keep? 5900 I suppose has got to be in it. You get a pretty decent return on your 3950 at the moment, so I would probably get rid of that. Kenny D says, hi Mike and Kath, how you doing Kenny D? Ugly Bob says he was abducted, but they brought him back very quickly.
They didn't like Johnny 5 looking on.
There, can't see it now. Ryzen says, how true is it that Windows 11 is going to disappear soon? Well, it's not going to disappear. There are going to be updates, and Windows is a constantly evolving thing. So we will see Windows 12 or Windows 13 or whatever they call the next one. It's going to evolve into something else. Windows is it's becoming more of a service than it is an actual product. So it's constantly being upgraded. John Burnham says MSI B450 is auto TPM, so I got Win 11 pass automatically. James Brock, how you doing James? Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, not too bad. Alexa says I don't trust trusted platforms. Yeah, I don't either, to be honest with you. Jeff Watson, a bit off topic here, but I want to build my ladder system with a B660 board and a 12400F. But I'm not sure whether to get an RTX 3050 or an RX 6600. Non-XT is for Elden Ring. Any opinions? I'm not too sure on Elden Ring actually what it supports. The RTX 3050 at the moment is, if you benchmark it, is roughly a little bit slower than the RTX 2060 in the majority of games. The RX 6600, I believe, is a little bit on the faster side in the majority of games, but you are going to pay a little bit more for it. So it's still very much where graphics card prices are all over the place. I think another week or so, and it's probably going to balance out a little bit more. It's really when Intel bring out their graphics cards, I think is going to be when things get very interesting. James Brock says, looks like more stuff on Mike's table that I can't get here in the States. Well, there is more stuff that you can get in the States. We've actually got this. This was sent by Ugly Bob, the EVGA's X20 gaming mouse, which I still haven't used, and still haven't even taken out the box, which is terrible, I know, but I've not been well and I've been busy, so I'm not too sure. I thought this was actually a completely right-handed mouse, but it doesn't appear that it is. So I should be able to use that. I will see when we do the unboxing. Also, something else which Bob sent is the Soundpeats frames. These are bizarre, and I almost wore these today because the sun came out for the first time in ages, which I've been waiting for, so I could do the review on these, because these are sunglasses with built-in Bluetooth speakers. But I haven't done the review recently because obviously it's been shit weather, and nobody wants to see some slightly fat balding bloke walking down the street recording himself with a pair of headphones on, or sorry, with a pair of sunglasses on, in the dark, when it's raining. So that is going to be one of those somewhat classic type videos where Kath and myself go up to our local park and I walk around like an idiot and stand on the side of the streets posing as if I'm looking to pick up a punter. That's likely to happen. And Kath will be
hiding behind a tree.
Kath will be hiding behind a tree trying to keep out of the shot, whilst at the same time me having to shout out, "Follow me! Focus on me in face! No! Oh, give me the camera!"
It's not my fault they didn't do cream for the coffee.
That's basically how it's going to happen. That's almost exactly how it's going to go down. It'll be quite fun.
So can you ask the Trojan, is it Sunday there now?
Trojan, Kath says, is it Sunday there now? Are you time travelling?
With my Brian.
Good morning, Kath. No, if it says good morning, are they...
That must be Sunday morning, mustn't it?
Yeah, is Australia ahead or behind?
Ahead, I think. Don't they have New Year's Eve before us?
They do, actually, yeah. So it's probably Sunday...
Morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning for our Australian people. I think. Mick Woods has retracted a message. Ivory Wolfman says maybe the sunglasses could be your new look. I'm going to stick them on now and see what you think of them. Even though it's night time, we're in a studio and the lights are on.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Sunday. Thank you, Trojan.
Thank you.
Hear that? Power on. You open up the arms and they power on automatically. How cool is that? Obviously, I can not see a great deal now.
Where did they get the power from, your Brian?
Oh, I heard it say pairing then. Now I know what it must feel like to be a graphics card looking out through a tinted glass window with lots of RGB behind you. So there's the RGB behind me. It needs to be a bit lower, I think. They do cover a lot of your eyes, actually. I'm looking up as far as I can. I can't actually see above the rim of the glasses. It's pretty cool.
Do they power from your Brian?
They power my Brian.
From your Brian, no.
James Brock says it's the Terminator. do. Matthew Day says sci-fi bad guy vibe. Ivory Wolfman says blue pill or red pill. Definitely the red pill, every time. I'll be back. Only in a rerun. So anyway, there we go. those are pretty cool. You see a little pairing light in there. So basically what they've got is there's a speaker there and a speaker there, which you can just see. So it fires the sound straight into your lug holes, which is yeah, pretty handy. So you don't have to wear headphones and you can actually be aware of everything around you, but you can still hear what's going on. So yeah, they're pretty decent. I'm not too sure how they're going to hold up when you're going along, maybe on a bike or something, with the wind noise, but yeah. Ugly Bob sent us £10 super chat, says you look like one of Daft Punk with those on.
Can you do that stronger, harder, faster dance now?
Oh yeah, the stronger, harder, faster, longer thing.
Do that. Write it on your hands and stuff.
What's it? I can't remember how it went.
I think you should learn it though.
MIB, Mike in Black. I'm going to wear these to the next funeral I have to go to, and I can listen to some YouTube stuff.
You got one this week.
Oh yeah, actually I have. When Kojak becomes a dirty cop. The Blues Brothers. That's cool. I like that a lot. Can you hear that? That is good. I like the fact that they turn themselves on and off when you take them off and obviously put them on. That is very cool. So yes, we will be doing a little bit of a reviewette on that coming up shortly when the weather is a little bit nicer. It'd be nice actually to get out and do some filming, because we haven't done that for ages. When was the last time we actually filmed out in the park? That's for a headset video, wasn't it? Before the...
Maybe even a year and a half ago.
That was the plus... Was it plus ones or something?
We did do a bit of filming outside, didn't we, about DJI?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, very cool. Thank you, Bob. What else we got here? Oh, Bob sends me all his stuff first of all, so I get to check it out. So these are going to be, just by the weight of these feel like these are going to be awesome. So this is the Corsair Virtuoso RGB Wireless XT. Now these, from what I've heard already, they're Bluetooth obviously, and they support IQ, so you can support IQ RGB effects. You can combine all your lighting on your rig. They also have that slipstream technology, which makes it basically like lag free, and they support Qualcomm's aptX HD, so they're going to sound amazing. I am genuinely looking forward to listening to these, because these actually support Dolby Atmos, and yeah, I love watching movies. Quite often when I'm done for the day, I'll go on to Amazon Prime, look at a movie. Recently I've been watching The A-Team, which has been brilliant. I actually wanted to do Fancy Dress as B.A. Baracus, but I'm pretty sure that if I do that now, there will be a massive woke event and I'll get cancelled. So I'm definitely... Yeah, I'm definitely not going to dress up as B.A. Baracus. As funny as that would be, I'm not going to do that. Although I want to. I really want to. Ain't never get me on no plane sucker, I think is the actual words I would be using. So anyway, got those as well. So good old Bob sent those. You'll get those eventually when I've stopped watching. Actually, I think The Matrix is just about to be released, or if it has already been released on Amazon Prime Video. So I may actually have to purchase the film and listen to it if it supports... I'm pretty sure it supports Dolby Atmos. I really want to hear what that sounds like. I've not heard it before. Stuart Cleary's £10 super chat says, peace in our house now. Daughter and her 2 friends just left in a taxi for a night out on the town. Lovely, lovely.
What time did ours leave? About 3 o'clock this
Yeah, our daughter left to go out on the piss about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
And she got home about 7 this morning.
Yeah, and she came home at 7 this morning.
From last night.
She is an animal. She really is. Ugly Bob says, PC Baracus. Good one. J Rich says, cancellation incoming. Yep, definitely. Old Man Withers says, howling Mad Mike. Nice. Really Random Review says, outrage, you can't do that today, Mike. Haha, they will come with you with pitchforks, unfortunately. They would. They would. And I wouldn't be doing it in like a racist way. I would be doing it in a literally paying homage to an absolutely amazing person, Mr. T, who is, I just love him. I think he's excellent. But you cannot dress up as somebody unless you are that person, if you know what I mean, without me getting cancelled. Anyway, Ugly Bob says there's no rush for them. Take your time. Awesome. Thank you very much. Antonio says next thing on the list to get materials to make custom PC case from current modded one into one that looks like it's produced in limited orders by Be Quiet themselves and send the design to me. Awesome. Right, let's clear that. There we go. John Sullivan says, love Dolby Atmos. Got a 4K home cinema. DTS X is better, but not many films have it. Anyway, I'm really impressed with spatial audio. And Ryzen has sent us 100 MX dollars. Is that Mexican dollars? I'm not sure. I guess that must be. Thank you very much. That's extremely kind of you. I've not seen that before. MX dollars. I didn't realise you were in Mexico. Although you might not be. Could be. What's another country with M and X in the name? Nope, can't think of one. So it must be Mexico. Thank you very much. Chris Hartford says, just having a Google, but would a Ryzen 2600X work in an A520 motherboard? Yes, it should do. The only problems you get with some of them is your PCI Express routing and sometimes USB Type-C because of the way the PCI Express bands or kind of branches work. Normally they're okay for that second generation Ryzen processors. It tends to be the G series ones which have problems because the integrated graphics and the way that's routed. But that should be fine. I'm pretty sure that most of the 2000 series work on B550 chipset and the A520 is obviously a cut down version, so you should be okay.
Mexican peso.
Ah, Mexican pesos.
Pesos.
Thank you very much, kind sir.
Ugly Bob is the translation.
Thanks for translating, Bob. Dak Havenar 99 says that, Mike. How are you doing today? Not too bad. Do you think getting a B550 Aorus Elite V2 for €50 brand new is a good deal? Yeah, it's awesome. Where is it? And is it Micro ATX? Because if it is, I want one. For €50, that works for me. O'Reilly says, I pity the fool who does not listen to Mike's honest unboxing reviews. Thank you, O'Reilly. Really random review says Microsoft took over the dollar. They probably have in some way. William Bodie says, with the sunglasses you can go like Gene Wilder in the movie Silver Streak. I think I watched that years ago, Silver Streak. Did I watch that? Yeah, I must have done. Yes, from Mexico. Actually, it's Cancun's in Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, isn't it? Because I was watching, there was Johnny Strides, who is a Canadian YouTuber who basically walks around Canada and films it as he's doing it and talks about places, etc. He was actually on holiday and he went to Cancun and it looks really, really nice. And Mexico is somewhere that I've actually quite fancied going to. It gets a bad rep from a lot of places, but I don't think it's as bad as what people make out. I think it's actually a very nice place and probably one of the better places on the planet to go to these days. So yeah, we may come and visit Ryzen one day. That would be cool. Mike, you need to watch Future Man Prime. You will love it. Future Man Prime, okay. I'll keep an eye out for that. Dak Kavanagh says, no, it's ATX. Do you think it holds a 5800X? Yeah, it should be fine. Most B550s are pretty decent with that. The Aorus Elite boards in general are okay. Ugly Bob, I ain't getting on no float plane. That's good. That is actually good. I'm impressed. Letters mentioned Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Biddy 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 biddy. What's up, Buck? I loved Buck Rogers. That was an amazing program. They had the coolest spaceships as well. Joe Franco says, hey Mike, greetings from Cali, Colombia. Cali, Colombia. Where's Cali, Colombia? Is that California, Colombia? I'm confused. Geography is not my strong point, as you've probably realised already. Dak Havanaar says, I bought a brand new and sealed Arctic Freezer E34 Esports Duo in white and grey for €20. Holy shit. That's awesome. Aleta's girlfriend is from Mexico. Yeah, I think I'd like to visit Mexico. It looks like a very cool place. What's that place that that guy you watched lives or is at? Acapulco. Acapulco? I can never pronounce that right. That's in Mexico, isn't it? I'm sure. I think. Possibly. They're going loco down there, apparently. Tristan G says, well, hello from Seattle. Hello, Seattle. Are you sleepless? That was terrible. James Brock says, Aleta Alano, not much into Buck. No, I'd imagine Aleta would have been very much into Erin Gray. Joe Franco, South America. Okay, thank you. Ah, well, Bill, Aluta continua. The struggle continues. I didn't know it meant that. I'm going to use that tomorrow when I'm working in the shop. If someone says, oh, how you doing? All right? I'll say, Aluta continua. And they'll just be like, oh, Mike's on the jazz again. South America, Colombia. Got you. Cali, Colombia is a city in Colombia. Got you. Now I know things. Right, what else have I got here? Oh, actually, this is something which has been... This is probably not going to interest a lot of you, but it interests me, because I do like NAS. And we'll have a look at the Tranquillo shortly as well. And let's get rid of the monkey face ALSEYE, because I don't need to see that anymore.
He's been staring at me all day, like, when the leaves eyes.
So this was sent to us from our good friends at ASUS Store. Now, a lot of companies at the moment have had problems with security issues due to, basically, there's a flaw in Linux, which a lot of NASes actually use a Linux-based kernel. I think it was based around kernel 4 point something, whereas a lot of the more modern NASes tend to be on kernel 5 or higher. So ASUS Store, one of the companies who've got fixes out, so yeah, security-wise, it's absolutely cool. But this is basically a 2-bay NAS, but it's got a ton of power, and it's very, very fast for what it is. Now, we've seen them before. They just do really good stuff. They don't go all out on all the frills and stuff. Like the actual box itself is pretty much entirely plastic. And I've been dying to get this out, actually. Let's rip this off. So for those of you that don't know what a NAS is network attached storage. So these days, obviously, having everything on your PC is expensive to do, because most of us like to have SSDs or NVMe drives, which are obviously very fast. But for your bulk storage, it's an extremely expensive thing to do. Like a 2 terabyte NVMe drive these days is probably going to set you back £130, maybe 150, maybe even more, depending on what kind of drive you're going with. But that is the beauty of a NAS. You can keep all of your things like your pictures and stuff like that, which you don't access on a regular basis, and you can put them on mechanical storage on a network. So it doesn't bog down your PC, and also you can get access to it from other devices. So you don't have to have the same data replicated on your PC, your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone. You can have all of it centralized on a NAS, which is absolutely brilliant. Front panel, magnetic, and you've got the drive bays behind there. I like that. That, for me, just sells it straight away. Magnetic front cover, absolutely perfect.
It's like our first house, the thing that sold it was the doorbell.
Yeah, and the spinny round
cover.
So, 2-bay drive. So you put one hard drive in there, one hard drive in there. You can use 2 at the same time, or you can use 1 at the same time, however you want to. There's a little fan in the back to keep things nice and cool. USB on the front, so if you've got a USB drive, you can just plug it in and it'll back up. Press the button, transfers whatever's on the USB stick into a designated folder on the NAS. Happy days. And on the back is where the cool stuff happens, because you've got 2 USB 3.0, so you can have a USB 3 drive, maybe like one of those little portable drives. You can have one of those permanently connected, like a Seagate drive, what are they called, a MyBook, that sort of thing. You can have one of those permanently connected, and then you can back up your NAS to a removable USB drive, which you can then unplug every now and then and take off site and swap them over. So data redundancy everywhere. Best thing about it though, 2.5 gigabit LAN. If anyone knows what it's like transferring files onto a NAS, file transfer speeds are one of those things which can be problematic. When you're using gigabit, you're limited to somewhere in the region of about 110 megabytes per second. Obviously 2.5 Ethernet, you can transfer somewhere in the region of about 250 megabytes per second. So potentially with that kind of setup, you can actually run your Steam library from a NAS, which again, if you've got all of your games on your Steam library, that takes up an absolute ton of room. So you can just put it all into one of these, have it all tucked away somewhere. Oh, I'll put that in the wrong way, I think. Yeah, put it somewhere out of sight, out of mind if you want to, because you just connect to it from a web browser via the LAN. Yeah, very cool. And there's no screws on the side, so how do you actually get inside of this? I'm intrigued now, because normally there's a couple of screws. Oh no, there is a couple of screws. Let's have a look inside. I haven't got the sunglasses on, no. Because the last one of these we had, I think it had thumb screws on. I'm sorry about this, I am geeking out a little bit on the NAS, but I do like these devices. I've got currently a Synology, which is a 4-bay, which is basically running everything and backing up everything. But I do want to try and get away from the Synology ecosystem, just because it's really expensive for what it is. So taking off the plastic cover, and it's actually a very solid plastic cover, so you can see inside. Basically it's just a smaller computer. So you've got a little BIOS battery in there, and there's basically like a SATA backplane there, which is what the drives connect to. So it's very simple. They've made it as simple as possible. Little 4-pin. There's actually a PWM connection there for the fan. So if for some reason you find the fan that's installed isn't particularly to your liking, you don't like the sound profile, you can actually buy Noctua fans which will fit in here, which just plug in on the PWM and makes it totally silent. Obviously your drives are going to be quite noisy anyway, but if you want to make it a little bit quieter, then you definitely can do. Anyway, so that is a cool little NAS. I want to take it all apart. I'm not going to. This is where I don't get this to go back on properly.
Do the unboxing video of it.
Yeah, I'll do the unboxing video, then I'll be perfected.
You get it out, it will fall apart.
They've made it too well. The tolerances are too tight. So let's get that in there.
So, our Wolfman, I have a WD MyCloud, not sure what kernel is on it.
Western Digital's MyCloud, I think that is one of the... I think they are using an older version of the Linux kernel. They might even be on kernel 3. It's probably a good idea to check with them and see what the deal is, just to make yourself secure. If you're not sure, take it offline, because at the moment basically the hack, they do need to gain internal access to your system to actually to do it. And actually, I think it was ASUS Store and a couple of other companies which basically said, right, until we figure this out, disconnect your NAS, unplug it, turn it off, just leave it off. Because they were looking out for the customers, which I actually think is brilliant. There's not many companies which would turn around and say about their main product, basically turn it off and don't use it until we tell you to. I think that's really impressive. So that is one of the reasons why I like using ASUS Store stuff.
4.9 kernel.
And it's also very cheap as well, which suits me. It's 4.9, is it? Excellent. Thank you very much. Just have a look through there.
How much would a 2.5 G LAN card be?
A 2.5 gigabit LAN card, A lot of motherboards now actually got them built in. Pretty much most of the B550 range from MSI have got them built in. So if you've got a Tomahawk, Gaming Edge, Wi-Fi, Gaming Plus, the Mortar Max, pretty much all those boards have got it built in already. A lot of motherboards are starting to come with that installed straight away. So the more expensive part of it is the switch. So looking at a 2.5 gigabit switch, that's where you're going to see your costs. And at the moment, I think I saw the cheapest one being somewhere in the region of about 100 and, no, was it £70? It's either 70 or £100. It's somewhere in that region for like a 5-port hub, which actually, if you think that a normal gigabit one can cost you about 20 quid, it is quite a jump. But then you do get a massive jump in performance, so you don't need to, you do it. You can use these just normal with gigabit. Like my Synology in the other room is actually, it's got 2 ports on it, and they are 2 gigabit ports. Sorry, I'm rustling a bit. It's got 2 gigabit ports, and it kind of uses band aggregation, so it joins the two together. You don't get faster transfer speeds, but if there's more people actually using the network, then you get more bandwidth. But with 2.5 gigabit LAN, obviously you're just going to get that raw bandwidth power straight away, which is very cool. How does that go back in there? Nope, not that way round, clearly. I'm not very good at my job. Does it go in that way? Sorry, Asia Store. I think I may have just broken your NAS. But don't worry, they're quite cheap. Oh, and the flaps on the inside now. Oh, come on. Come on in, Poppy. Come on in, take the weight off your tail. Anyway, so very cool. The NAS, the maximum capacity at the moment is, I believe, 18 terabytes per drive. So you can have as many drives as you want, and you can actually daisy chain NASs as well. So the Asia Store make a basically like add-on. Poppy, go away. Are you standing on that? No, okay. Yeah, Asia Store do a USB add-on device, so you can get like another 4-port, another 4-bay NAS drive, which is basically like a dumb enclosure. Plug it in via USB 3, and it plugs into your main NAS, so you can have 6 drives, or however many you want to. Uh-oh, Poppy's playing. Right, you finished? You're going to lick me to death now. You done?
She's looking at herself on the monitor, isn't she?
Who's that? Who's that little cat? Is that you? She's being badly behaved. Look. That's you, that is, being badly behaved.
Put your hand up for
Bless her.
Attack.
Let's see if she'll do the attack. So this is the attack signal.
She won't do it because it's on camera.
Yeah, she won't do it now. You can't bother to move, can you? No. Simply not interested. Bless her heart. Right, let's go back to there. Poppy power. A router with at least 1 gigabit LAN port and Wi-Fi 6 should be enough. Says Arali. James Brock says, I wonder if the better looking James is busy watching The Big Dance.
Is that like Strictly?
Is that like Strictly Come Dancing or something in the US?
I've never watched that.
Right, I think that is it. So, right, let's look for some motherboards. Now, oh, for God's sake, Poppy. What are you doing?
She scratches your head live.
Don't scratch my head. Don't scratch my head. And don't attack the face. Don't attack the face. So I'll pay the bills. You know? Keep you and cat food. In fact, you should say thank you to the nice ladies and gentlemen who are watching, because they're paying for your fat belly. Your fat belly. Uh-oh, she's in attack mode. This hurts. Is that nice? Tasty? Alright, can I have my hand back now, please? Ow. Aletta says, I don't think I need an AS. I have every file on my C drive and I still have 844 gigabytes free out of 1 terabyte. That is impressive. Smacky says the largest compatible drives are 20 gigabyte Iron Wolves. I didn't even realise the 20 gigabyte ones were out. Right, you gonna move so I can do some work, please? Right, time to go. Rose and Rose says, I love it. I love the cat's mic. Your cat looks cute. These creatures are magnets. Smarky says again, largest compatible drives for 20 gig Iron Wolves. Thank you. They probably get bigger than that actually. As soon as the drives come out, they probably will get bigger. But they normally state on most of these NAS enclosures, they state kind of like the largest drive that was available at the time that the manuals or whatever were done. What are you doing now? You're just going to go sleep there? Are you dead? Play dead. That means you tell as well. Play dead. I'll stick my finger in your ear. Just stick your finger in your ear. No? Stick your finger in both ears. Right, come on, out of the way. I've got work to do. Don't look at me all cute and shit. Not playing that game. Are we? We're not playing that game. Right, let's get her out of the way a minute. Nothing better than a PC cat. I know. She is pretty cool. Right, can I use my other hand for the mouse, please? Is that all right? Right, where is my incognito tab? Let's see what is available. Okay, so let's try CCL. We don't want a CCL that one, so which one is it? Where is the desktop? There we go. There we go, you can see it. Awesome stuff. You don't have to see, ow, bastard. You don't have to see me getting attacked by the cat. So let's see what is it. This is cclonline.com or CCL Computers. This is a pretty large company in the UK, which I actually quite like their clearance section. I've had relatively good success with it. I've not had any failures as of yet. So all we need to do is go to the clearance section. We can sort by price, low to high, because obviously cheapskate. And then you can choose your particular thing. So you've got top deals, PCs, laptops, components, monitors, storage, networking, peripherals, etc, etc. And also there's some James miscellaneous on the end. So let's look at components and let's go with motherboards because that is what we're looking at, and we can work on the processor after. So we've got various grades. So we've got C grade, B grade. Poppy, get off the mouse. And sorted by price. So there's not really a lot to choose from. There's a few of those. Basically, each one of these listings is an individual product. So there's 214 products available, and again sorted in age. So we could go with something like that, the B450. So that's a B grade item. Still got a 1-year warranty, so that's pretty decent. And what is the B grade reason? So this is a B grade clearance item. It will be in good condition, but may show light signs of use and or been repackaged. The price has been reduced to reflect this. All B grade items are complete, working, have been fully tested. This item is supplied with a 12-month warranty. So pretty much it's going to be as new, just the box is probably going to be rubbish. Only 2 of them left, and I'm pretty sure I haven't reviewed this board. I might have to have a quick check actually before I do it, but I don't think I've reviewed this yet. It doesn't look too bad. So we've got an NVMe slot. That's a better picture. It's got 4 RAM slots, which is pretty decent. We've got 8-pin connector at the top there. A little bit of a cooler on the VRM setup there. Yeah, NVMe. 2 full-size PCI Express 16 slots, although the bottom one appears to be only wired for ×4 or 8, I think. Excuse me. And where's our USB, sorry, not USB, where is our RGB connection? So it looks like we've got LED RGB there. There's a fan header there. CPU fan header in the top. Don't think we've got many fan headers. I think we've only got 2 fan headers that I can see. So one which is there, and another one. Oh, actually, that might be. There can't only be 1 fan header, surely. Actually, what's it called? Where is it? LED. So system fan 1. So we're looking for system fan 2. There must be one somewhere, surely. I'm not seeing it. If anyone wants to say in the chat, let me know where the other system fan header is, if there is one. There must be more than one. You can see, yeah, got CPU fan header there. Nothing down this side. Clear CMOS pin, USB 1, front panel. No, it appears there's only 1 fan header. So that is not a good start. So anyway, that is a possibility, mostly based on the price. So let's go back. So we've seen that one. A320, I don't think I can do. A520 might be a possibility at £41. That doesn't seem too bad. And the MSI A Pros, again B grade, 41 quid. Oh dear. I think we're going backwards, aren't we?
Heatsink mic on the left.
Below the heatsink on the left.
Yeah. Whatever you asked for just now.
Oh, the fan header. Let's have a look. There's a fan header there. And so there's the heatsink. Was there one down here on the left? I'm not seeing it. Unless I've gone mad. Well, that's the heatsink. There's that heatsink there. There's that one there on the left. That's system fan header 1, so that's just the...
That's the right, isn't it?
That's the left. Left hand side of the board. The right hand side would be over here. So I can't see anything over on the right. There might just be one on there.
James Brock said look better. Matthew Day said check spec is only 1.
Thank you, Matthew Day.
Up to the left, no.
Is this going to be any better? So this is the A520 chipset. We've got no VRM cooler. We've only got a 4-pin CPU power, which doesn't bode well. CPU fan header, system fan header 1. And I think that's going to be the same deal, isn't it? The only redeeming feature is going to be the easy debug LED, which is quite useful. But other than that, it's a pretty lame board. So let's go up a level. And what else have we got? So
just to the right of the LAN port connector.
Yeah, that's the only one, system fan header.
There's 2 times fan header.
Yeah, one's a CPU, one's a fan, I think. So the next level up is going to be the B550 M-A Pro. I've had one of these before. It's fine, if that is even a thing. You can't really zoom in very easily on there. A couple of extra, I think there's 2 fan headers on this board. You still really only have a 4-pin connector for CPU power, 2 RAM slots. For 50 quid, I'm out. So what is the next best thing? So now we're looking at Intel. So there's H510 chipset. which is, yeah, still not going to be great, is it? But can you see what I'm saying here? There's not a great deal of choice here as far as Micro ATX is concerned. Like even like that, a B550, 60, 70 quid. Excuse me. It's not a lot. And we're still not even in the B550 range yet. The first B550, it's like 70 quid. And the daft thing is, you can get the B450 Gaming Pro Carbon Max, which is possibly one of the best ever boards on the B450 platform, for £4 more than that sack of rubbish. And it's a B grade.
Do you want another cup of tea?
Yeah, go on in, please. So that is, the options are limited here. They really are. I'm not keen. So let's have a look in obviously new boards. So motherboards, can we specify Micro ATX? Yes, we can. And sort by price. So definitely no. H310, definitely no. No, we've seen that one. A520M DS3H, possibility. Was that what we looked at just now? Yeah, that is what we looked at just now. So the prices are rising, but the quality and the features aren't. That's not a bad shout. B450 Aorus M, but it's still just, it's almost 60 quid, and that's a pretty old board now. But that will tick numerous boxes, because we have got 8-pin input, which is good. 4 RAM slots, obviously good. CPU fan header, system fan 2. There's another one at the top there, system fan 1. I'm guessing there's probably going to be another one somewhere around. Although we probably could make do with 2. I think that is it. Yeah, only 2 fan headers again. But we do have addressable RGB. There's a D-LED there, or a digital LED. So we've got one there. And we've also got some digital LED at the bottom there. Well, only 2 fan headers, which is a little bit stingy, I think. Actually, that isn't going to work, is it? Because we do need a pump header for our AIO cooler. Excuse me. So, no, that is, well, that's on the possible shelf. Because we could just go with an air cooler. But ideally, I want to use the water cooler, because that is the whole point of having a white water cooler. It's going to have a white case. So that is on the maybe shelf. H510, I don't think so. I think B460 or B560 has got to be kind of like a minimum. No, don't like that. Look at the price of that. ASRock's B450M Pro-4, which is actually a not a bad board. Give it its due. But 70 quid. That seems like a lot of money for that level of board. Let's have a look. Is this gonna work for us? So 8-pin power connector, moderate coolers on the VRMs, 4 RAM slots, RGB there. We do have Ultra M.2, and we've got 2 M.2 slots, which is nice. We are going to have addressable RGB down in this corner. How many fan headers has this thing got? So we've got, is there one at the top? I can't quite see that. We'll zoom in. Oh, great. Zoom in the bloody window. Why would you not have zoom on there? Daft arse. Right, I'm going to have to get a bit closer to the screen so I can actually see what's going on.
I can't see it anyway.
I know you can't, that's right. So there's two headers there. So I'm guessing one is going to be a pump fan, one is going to be a CPU header. So that works for us. There's a rear one there, so that's another fan header by the looks of things. What else we got going down here? That looks like two fan headers there. That is two PWM fan headers, isn't it? So on this board we've got two M.2s, we've got 4 RAM slots, we've got plenty of coolers. I think that might be the way forward. And I'm pretty sure that we've not actually reviewed that board, ever. But 70 quid seems like a lot of money. It's quite a pretty board though. Actually, that's a much better angle, isn't it?
Right click mouse and open image in a new window.
Alright, Bobby. There we go. Thank you for that. So, who was it?
Blake.
Thank you, Blake. So that's actually not a bad shout, is it? 2 M.2s, 4 RAM slots, addressable RGB, pump header, CPU header. It is obviously ASRock, so it's not going to be perfect. Although the B450 range was always quite good. And processor wise, if we put the 2600 on there, although it seems like a lot of money to spend on a board just to be putting a 2600 on. Or even a 2700 for that matter. But it might work for us. It might work. So we'll put that on the possibles. In fact, if we see if we can get that cheaper anywhere else, there's bound to be somewhere else that has it. Ow, Poppy. Let's go to shopping, and no, it looks like that might be the cheapest one. Ow. This bloody cat. So yeah, because we could almost get the Steel Legend Micro ATX at that price, but then we're spending a lot more money, like £85. So I might have to keep an eye out for a used one. Okay, so this at least gives me some hope. Not a great deal, but it does give me some. I don't really want to go as high as that. Tough Gaming, that's going to be a similar sort of deal. We're not going to get a great deal of extra features on that, I don't think. It does look nice though. We don't have digital RGB on there, we only have 12 volt RGB. IO shield integrated though, and a BOS flashback button up in that top corner. That's kind of neat. 2 M.2 slots. Better audio chip as well. And
Amazon has the board for 50 on Warehouse. Sorry.
Oh, does it? Who said that?
Langenhouse London.
Langenhouse London. Thank you very much for that. So £50 on Amazon. That might be the way forward then, because £50 is kind of doable. I think that is going to be probably the best choice, because we're getting more and more expensive here. Like this board, that is a junk board. That really is an awful board. For anyone who's watched our good friends over at Hardware Unboxed, their review of this board was less than favourable, let's say. Yeah, we're up into the 70s. Like this board normally would have been somewhere in the region of £60, which even then wasn't great, but was doable. But now £76.50, and that's probably, that looks like a, no, it's not a graded one. So we're a little bit screwed. We're a lot screwed.
Copy stuff says I have this ASRock motherboard, works better than my MSI Mortar Max.
What's that? The Steel Legend or the Pro 4? Excuse me. Right, let's go back to the main camera. So there you go. You've seen enough of the screen. We've got some ideas there. So the ASRock B450 M Pro 4 actually doesn't look like a bad choice. I like the fact that it's got a lot of fan headers. That is very much a redeeming feature as far as I'm concerned. And the VRM is actually not entirely garbage. Those thinner heat sinks or heatsink fins work in two ways. They do let the heat out quickly, so if you've got a lot of airflow, they're going to work really well. If you haven't got a lot of airflow, there isn't a lot of metal to kind of bulk it out.
Copy stuff said Pro 4.
Pro 4, excellent. Yeah, I don't think I've done a review on that. I'm going to have to check a minute to make sure. That, yeah, you can't see that, that's good. Oh, what did I do then? Did I do a thing then? Yeah. Poppy's ripped my hands to shreds. Little swine. Let's have a look. Live streaming, we're in there. So let's have a look. I don't think I've done a review on that, have I? Let's have a look. I'm going to search across that. So B450M Pro 2. Let's do show all. Pretty sure I haven't. No, I did the Steel Legend. So that, I think, answers the question. I am definitely going to go with...
Maybe.
I'm definitely maybe going to go with... Oh, actually, no, that because oh, that gives me issues for RAM. Oh, God.
What was that build you did right at the beginning and your face was like, oh my God, because you did something...
That was an ASRock one. Yeah, there's a, actually, I will find the link for it. There was a video I did in the very early days. I think it was for one of the HDV boards. Let's have a look, ASRock. Show all. I actually started building a PC, and I got to the point where I was going through all the motions, and then I realised at the very end...
Your face is just hilarious.
That I basically had the wrong motherboard for the build I was doing. I'll have to find that. Was it? They should be in date order because I did it and then I had to record the other video thinking, oh God. RGB and no, it's not that one.
Yeah, it's during a build.
ASRock Flash. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was an ASRock B450M HDV. And yeah, it was one of those videos where I got to it. I was doing the build, and then I got to look at the rear I/O, and realised that there wasn't HDMI on the back or any outputs. It all went wrong. That was it. Yeah, that was. What board was it? Does it say in the video description?
AB350M.
Ah, AB350M. That was how it's called. That's how long ago it was. So it was in the early days. So that was not good. Ah, John Burnham says, if anyone interested, I'm Lucky Man on Discord. That is very handy for you to say because I quite often look at Discord names and I haven't got a clue.
I knew that.
Kath knew. I didn't. I'm rubbish. Ordinary dudes with us.
You told me, I think.
I've been really happy with the Steel Legend boards, both B450 and B550, as long as you can get them on sale. Yeah, I think that is going to be a contributing factor. Kieran Atkinson says eBuyer some X displays from when I checked yesterday. Okay. Chris Tost says that ASRock B450 M board isn't too shabby. I did a build for a family member using the 2.0 version, no issues. Thanks, Chris.
Can you play it on yours?
Can I play it on mine? Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I think so.
Is it worth doing?
Let me see if I can find it. What is the timestamp?
I think it's about 13 minutes.
What's the video called? It all went wrong.
12:55. I'll put it in chat if that's easier.
What time was it?
12:55.
Okay. Let's see if I can find this. 12.
Bargain basement budget gaming PC. Into the end slot first.
There we go. Where are we? Desktop.
So I think from pretty much most angles, that RAM doesn't look bad. Quite happy with that. Okay, so that's everything we need to do on the
You can't see it on the screen though.
So let's get the motherboard out of the way now, and we'll get the case up on the desk, table, and prepare that for the system. Okay, so Stella's going to do the power supply next, the case next, I lied on it, check to make sure that everything actually works before we do it.
Oh, this is horrendous.
So what we'll do is test the motherboard and the RAM, just make sure it boots, get a post screen before we go too far. So we need to get the power supply out and plug this into a power source, which just crudely set up the system, just so we can get it to post.
Look at the back of the motherboard. There's no rear I/O on it. In terms of, that's a, the processor I think was a 3000G or something like that, or a 2200G. So it needed onboard graphics.
In case you're wondering what noise was in the background, that was our robotic vacuum just starting up, which is probably the worst possible time it could have started up. If you want to see the video about how that goes, you can, because I haven't done it yet.
What a moron.
For the supplemental CPU and APU power, plugs in on the top.
Oh, those old videos.
A reassuring click. So that is pretty much all we need to do to connect up power-wise. So we plug our HDMI cable in,
Oh, here we go.
which I can barely see. Oh my god, I can't believe I've done that. Oh my god. Okay, so we have a bit of a meltdown there because me in my wisdom, trying to search out the cheapest bargain I possibly could, got such a bargain on the motherboard, I forgot to see if it actually had HDMI or VGA outputs for the APU that I purchased. Now the plan all along, kind of, was to add a older used graphics card to this PC gaming build, just to see what
What have you bought?
There you go. Oh, let's stop that. That is how things used to roll back here.
Remember the one how to tie a tie?
Oh god, there are some old terrible ones. Why do I do it to myself? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's sort that out. Right. Oh, is there an echo now? No, it should be okay now. Everyone, Aletta says everyone has to start somewhere. Yes, I did.
No wonder he had no
John
hair
Burnham's,
left.
he's got remnants of hair, yes.
No wonder he has no hair left. He rubbed it all away.
I did. That was what it, yeah. So. Oh dear. That was the bad old days. It really was. Oh, I do look back on some of those videos quite kindly. I'm looking right now to see if I can see it, and no, it's not there. We all had to start somewhere. Actually, some of those videos back then I actually prefer than the ones I do now. There was something about, I think at the time I was using a Canon camera, and there was something about that Canon setup which just worked really, really well. But it was good stuff. So processor wise, I'm still none the wiser. I think I'm probably going to end up going that ASRock B450 Pro 4. It would actually be quite interesting to buy a B450 motherboard now. When did it actually come out? I'm going to have to look. When did that come out? ASRock B450 M Pro 4 release date. Google will probably lie. So round about August 2018. So actually not that old. I would have thought it was older than that. Although saying that 2018 or 2022, so 3.5 years, roughly.
How to get rid of nose hairs. Dave Aiken will be needing that soon.
He will.
You could have blamed that board on Dave Aiken.
I could have.
Blame it on Dave.
Yeah, blame it on Dave.com. So yeah, it does. There's something really wrong about spending 60 odd quid on a motherboard that's 3.5 years old. Even though it's brand new, it still is like, ugh, I don't know. Tor says the B450M mortar is also great. I think, have I had that? I don't think I've had the B450 mortar. Let's us thinking of Ryzen 5950X. That is the opposite end of where I'm looking. I wouldn't mind the 5950X. I don't think it'd be much use for me though.
Where's Captain Meat tonight?
William Bodie, is it an ASRock B450M Pro 2 R2? I didn't even know there was an R2. That's right, R2, we're going to Dagobah. So what is the difference in the R2? There is an R2. Because I know the F version is like a cut down version. So what does the R2 bring to the table? Well, it says it's got 10 phases of VRM, which actually seems like quite a lot. Although it won't be, it'll be 5 phases running through a doubler. But still, 5 phases for a VRM is actually not too bad if it's a decent VRM. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, got plenty of USBs on there. Oh, I think it adds USB-C. I think that is what was added. So there's USB-C, yeah. Oh, VGA, DVI, HDMI, 7 USB Type A ports and 1 Type C. I think that's all that's changed. It supports AMD Crossfire. That's handy. Ordinary Dew says there's an R2 version of the board as well as some with AC wireless. Okay.
John Burnham says invest in a mouse mat or get some made for sale. I'd be first to buy one.
I do want to get some mouse mats done actually.
There is one there on your...
Yeah, we have got a mouse mat on our web shop. If you look underneath the video, scroll down, you'll see there's a link of things. If it's not there, Kath will put a link in the description.
Oh, okay.
Along with the Mikesunboxing teddy bears. Very popular. Kenny D says, good point, I'm just happy I've got a good ASRock motherboard. To be honest with you, Kath's PC has got a ASRock B450 Pro 4, the full-size ATX one, and that's been in there for probably best part of 2 years, maybe even 3. Yeah, because I didn't change it over. It might even be longer than that. I think that board actually probably was bought not long after they come out. Interesting. So yeah, I think that's what might happen then. So if I take the 2600 out of Kath's computer, upgrade that to a 3600, so Kath gets a little increase in performance, and then put the 2600 on the B450, that might work. Or do I keep the 3600 and just put that on the B450? And to hell with the RAM speeds. What RAM speeds does it support? because that could be quite an important thing. So RAM speed support, what have we got, what have we got? So DDR4 3200 says it's the most it supports. So I might have to get some DDR4 3200. Does anybody who's watching currently have a ASRock motherboard of the B450 range which is running higher than DDR4 3200 RAM? Please let me know.
James is off.
Actually, CAFs must be running at 3200. Might have to steal your RAM and your mother. No, that's pointless. It's getting worse. It really is getting worse. Thank you, Bob. Cheers, James. Yeah, speaking of which, actually it's getting towards that bewitching hour, so we should probably call this a day, I think. So I'm still actually nowhere near knowing what I'm going to do with this. Yes, John, I definitely am. I've got still no idea what to do, so I'm going to end up going to sleep on it.
Got a bit red.
I'm a bit sunburnt, I think, because we were out in the garden for the first time in ages today, weren't we? At the moment in the UK, we've had some really nice weather, and I was sat out in the garden for
Wind
probably...
burn, I think.
Yeah, it was quite windy as well. We were out in the garden for, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like I've got a bit of a tan, or at least getting there.
It's probably just dust from the roof.
It's probably still some of that black soot from the roof being cut out still, like, on the...
No,
like,
blowing off the roof today.
oh, yeah, of course. Ordinary Dude says, I have the B450 Steel Legend with G-Scale 3600 RGB. Thank you, that is the answer I wanted. So I think we'll be doing that. I'm gonna be doing a B450 motherboard review after all these years that it's been out. Trojan says that AMD 2000. Oh right, what processor are you running, Ordinary Dude? You must be running a 3600 or something, I guess. We will see. But anyway, yeah, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you all for joining us. Where's my cup of tea? My throat is... I'm still trying to cough up some bits of soot, I think. Thank you very much.
It's builder's dust.
Builder's dust in my lungs. Just reading what Bob said.
Yeah, me.
Yes, I think that is going to be it. So thank you all very much for joining us tonight on me wittering on what to do. I'm still none the wiser, although I am thinking that the B450 Pro 4 Micro ATX might actually be the way to go. And I haven't done an ASRock motherboard review in a long, long time, so it'd be nice to see another one and see what it goes like. And see if we get a nice build put together. Having the addressable RGB is going to be awesome, so looking forward to that. So thank you all for taking time out of your busy Saturday nights to join me and Kath. Much appreciated. For those that super chatted and commented, thank you all so much. Obviously, more videos out during the week, Monday to Friday. We probably won't be doing the Saturday videos for a while now because we basically were running out of videos because we've been taking a bit of time out to do the house and illness and what have you. So those are running out a little bit. So yeah, I think that's going to be it.
The regular release, not the Saturday night stream.
Yeah, the regular ones, yes. And Stuart Cleary with the €10. Thank you, Stuart. Indian Mike is back. Mike, look after your lungs. Yes, I do need to get rid of some of the dust off them. I always get this after I've had a cold or if I've been in a dusty environment. Just coughing up, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And as talking for ages doesn't help either. Yep, Kath says, yeah, good night, troops. Yep, that's going to be it, I think. And is that broken now? No, there we go. Can't see a thing now. So that leaves me with only one thing to say. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we will catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Oh, I forgot to have a look at the Tranquillo. We'll do a follow-up video on that. Definitely will. I won't forget, honest.